contract. Even there at the end, the Rays were willing to give him a pretty significant amount of money. You just don't see that many catchers that hit for power and can hit like that. But I don't think people realize just how good a player Chris Williams is. I know I do. When we lost him, you really realize, how important a piece of the puzzle he was for our team. But Chris is not only a frontline catcher and a middle of the order hitter. This is a guy that can play a lot of different places too. Chris is underappreciated as an athlete. He's extremely athletic. So we're just happy to have Chris back. It's a guy that started for us for 2 years. So be able to get a guy that'll be in his 3rd year as a starter and a middle of the order threat, a guy that could hit behind Seth if we choose to do that and give Seth a little protection. It's great to have Chris Williams back, and also because he's a tremendous leader, and he's one of those kids that plays the game like it's a Sandlot game. He loves to play baseball. He's always smiling. He's always positive. He loves being out here, and it's just a joy to be around every day.
How good was it to get Wilkie so much experience at the end of last season, if you do want to use Chris's versatility or mix things up a little bit?
Well, Kyle, I thought, did an excellent job for us, once Chris went down there, and I think it was the Nevada series when Chris went down, and Kyle became our primary catcher, pretty much for the rest of the year, and had a great regional. I mean, in a very big stage, played very, very well. Swung the bat well, caught well. Just having that experience, I think, at the end of the year is going to pay dividends for Kyle, and he's definitely in the mix with Chris. We're planning on catching both of those guys, so it's not like Chris is, our mindset is let's get Chris healthy and catch him every single inning of every game. Just having a guy like Wilkie that we can play, and if we want to play Chris Williams at first base for a game, or we want to DH Chris or move him around if he needs a break, then we have the ability to do so. Having a young man like Kyle Wilkie, who gained some very valuable experience last year.
You have a lot of question marks on your pitching rotation. What are you looking for in your pitchers this fall?
Big thing with the pitchers this fall is really as simple as I can put it, is they got to be okay getting hit. I know Andrew and I are really in tune with what we believe with a pitching staff, and I think you look at our pitching staff last year. Had some veteran guys, but the one thing that all of those guys did was they pounded a strike zone. I think we had the fewest walks per 9 innings of any team in the country, or I know we were up there. So that's a big point of emphasis for us, as we try to limit the free 90, via defense, via pounding the strike zone. We want to throw strikes, force teams to swing the bat. If they're going to beat us, it's because they hit us, and we want to put a defense out there that can catch and throw the baseball at a high level. Make anybody we play earn their runs, and that's a big thing for us on the pitching side of the ball. And on the defensive side of the ball, you have to understand that pitching and defense work together, and we've got to control the baseball. Offensively, we got to control the strike zone. So if you want to be in our lineup, you've got to be a guy that puts together quality at bats and grinds out at bats. And that's a big point of emphasis for us this fall, is which group of players can grind out the most at bats and put together competitive quality at bats. Can you bunt for a hit? Can you draw a walk? Will you get hit by a pitch? Will you move a runner? Do you drive a runner in from third with less than 2 outs? Do you do all those things? Do you understand that offense comes from putting together good at bats and not just getting hits? There's other ways to score runs than just getting hits, but we want guys to be complete hitters, and we spend a lot of time on offensive approach. So those are really the big points of emphasis for us. Pitchers, pound the strike zone. Hitters, understand the strike zone. Understand what your strike zone is, what parts of the strike zone you handle well, and what are you going to do as a hitter to get on base and help us score runs.
Coach, as you first fall ball practice starts tomorrow, how close to 100% is Ryan Miller?
He's pretty close to 100%. He's been throwing bullpens. I think Ryan throws live today. We've got some live bullpen sessions, so he'll throw this weekend. So, we feel like physically he's in a good spot. So we feel really good about Ryan. Ryan's a huge piece. It's a huge piece. You look bullpen-wise, whether we pitch him out of the pen or potentially start him, that's a big-time arm to have back. We only had him for half a year last year, but if we can keep Ryan Miller healthy, that's a legitimate end-of-the-game type guy, or a guy that could potentially start and run it up there in the mid-90s, and he's an excellent athlete. So we're really, really excited about having Ryan back and healthy.
I believe Mitchell Miller made the Cape Cod